Hey guys, today I was thinking about making a holster for my Derringer here. It's a David Pedersoli. It's about the size of your palm. I'm just going to make a small case to hang off your hip. So to start off, what you're going to need is just a white piece of paper, and you're going to place the gun on the paper, and you're going to trace the design you want it to look like. First, just trace the outline of the gun. So we'll start by doing that. So you need a little bit of room on each side to do the stitches. Now, once you finish that, you need to do the top also. So we start on this side here on the left. Well, I want my handle to be sticking out, so I have it like that. Bubble it over. And then back around. Okay, so that's the basic design there. Just hold it up so you can see it. Now, the one thing to remember is that you need to have this side here is going to have to come and fold over to close the holster. So to do that, I usually take the paper and fold it. So you want to fold it on that line that you drew at the base. And then you just trace the same outline again. And make a dark line because you're going to flip it. So there I've traced it. I think you can see the outline up here. But you want to do the same around the edges and just trace it. Now when you open it up again, now you can be able to see the outline there. So you're going to trace that also. So you'll have something like this. So now simply just connect these lines here and you have a symmetrical image. Okay, so now when you're done tracing it all out, you want to cut out the outline you just made, which I've done here. I made some modifications. I've put this side down a little bit, make it a bit smaller, because the way that the gun case will work is it's going to close like this, and this will fold down with a snap, like that. Now you also want to make sure you have enough room on either side, so that once you install the case, you can close and you'll be able to sew these parts shut without too much effort of stretching leather and wetting it and drying it again. So there we go. That looks like it fits pretty well. And this part would go over like this. When you're cutting out your leather, you're going to want to use an X-Acto knife. You can try with scissors, but it doesn't always work the best, especially if you have a thicker piece of leather. I think this is only like 3 or 4 ounce, but with an 8 you're going to need to use X-Acto knife for sure. So you just trace the lines. And you continue until it's all done, basically. Okay, so now what we need to do is we have to drill holes. So I showed you already how it folds together. So what you want to do is you want to take whatever you're going to put in this case. So I'm using the little Derringer, so you take that, put it in, and you need to get it nice and tight there. And you want to use a pen or some other type of marking tool. And what you're going to do is you're just going to very lightly put dots where you want to make your holes. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've made just very faint dots with the pen, and that's where I'm going to drill. Okay, so what I do next is I usually I make a little score with the X-Acto knife, which would run along the spine in the inside, just so that when I fold it, it has a nice fold part there. So let's see. Just want to do a little bit at a time, because if you go too much, it'll go right through. So just run along that line a couple times. It'll help just weaken leather in that area. Just get a little bit of an indented line there. And now it'll just fold a little bit nicer. When you're done, you should have holes all the way around. Now, I want to attach this to my belt. So the next thing I need to do, and I'm going to do a cut-in belt slit, so it'll be cut into the back of the case, which isn't always the best, because sometimes if you're putting your gun in, it might get caught in little holes. But it is definitely the easier way. So with your pen, you need to mark again on the inside of the case so you don't see it after. Alright, so that's how thick I need the lines to be. The belt goes from here to here. It's a pretty standard belt. So now what I need to do is cut 2 more slits. Like so. So you're going to use your X-Acto knife again and trace those slits. Okay, and then I've got wood there. Make them a little bit longer. There we go. Do the same on the other side. So that you have a hole on the back side. So now this will be shut. You'll have your hole here to put your belt through, and you can still fold over the top, but we're working that in a bit. Alright, so now since we've drilled all the holes, it's time to close up your holster. So to do that, I'm going to use artificial sinew. And I like using artificial sinew because you can burn the end shut after. It makes it well, really pretty tidy. So you don't want to use a regular pin for this, or a regular needle for this, because it'll end up breaking off in the leather a lot of the time, I find. So you have to go buy a pretty sturdy one. I just have a hooked one here, but I got a pack of them that looks like this. Just got it over at Michael's. So I've threaded it through, and I've just spun it like this, just to make it all stick together. Then you just tie a knot at the other end. You want to keep it tight as you go down. Now I'm going to double up the bottom here, just to make it a little bit stronger. And I'm just going to go through the opposite sides now, so that it'll help to hold the gun in there. So always going through the top half. Do one more here. So hopefully you guys can see that. Let's check to make sure. Yes. And now you tie a knot on the other side, and we'll burn it shut. Alright, so the final step would be to tie on this flap here. We're going to use a snap to fasten it. So you want to make sure it's tight. So I've already drilled the top hole there. Let's see if you can see there. I've already drilled that hole there. And now I'm just going to take a pen and mark on the case where I want it to go through. So I have a little indent right there now. So we'll drill the first hole. This little hole was too small, so I'm going to re-drill it right now. So use your drill bit. You want it to be snug with the snap. So I found that the 9/64 drill bit works the best. And then, alright, maybe even a size or two bigger. Let's try this. Let's see if we can squeeze it through there. Ah, there we go. So you have one half of the buckle there, and you have this little insert piece. That insert piece, so there's 4 pieces. So you have the button, you have the female part of the snap, which is indented like this. This female part is going to be what attaches here. So now that your first snap is fastened, you need to drill a second hole here. I've just used a a clothespin just to stop the drill when it goes through. And we don't damage the back. And the second pin is the second snap is attached the same way. So you use this receiver though. It's a bit different with the male part of the button snap. So this part here just requires a little bit of fishing it through. There we go. So hammer that on tight also, so now they're both tight. And there's your snap. Both sides are secure. So here we are, just showing that it fits. The gun you started off with. Put it in. Secures nicely there. There you have it. I might trim this little bit here. I don't know if I'm going to put a pouch on the front or not.